It's like they're trying to be too meta.
You're gonna make them an offer they can't refuse.
Yeah. You can buy you a drink.
Well, I mean, he did pick out somebody we know.
You sidestep the question. That technology does not exist.
Hey guys and gals, you are listening to A2Z episode number 3. Our guest this episode is Caitlin Lydic. Caitlin works at an adult toy store, so we're going to throw a parental advisory on this episode because it's a little kinky.
Hey everybody, what's up? I'm Aaron. I'm here with my co-host Zach. Welcome to A to Z. If this is your first time listening, thanks for checking us out. A to Z is produced sort of weekly, and show notes can be found at atozpodcast.com. If you like what you hear, feel free to subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, or wherever you get your podcast fix. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We read your comments pretty regularly, so check us out.
Hey, what's up? This was a good episode, man. I had a good time.
Yeah, I did too. I think Caitlin had a good time as well. That's the most important thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was nice and easy. We sat down, we talked about a lot of different subjects, and I guess a lot of them are more taboo than most people are used to. So cover your kids' ears for this one, or maybe just don't listen to it around them.
Yeah,
or at
maybe,
work.
Yeah,
this
just,
is a
have some headphones on if you're in the office listening.
Right.
You know?
Well, we're not. We didn't get raunchy. We just
no. Actually, I feel like mostly it's funny. There's a lot of funny stories. We talk about people being inappropriate around a place where it's very easy to be inappropriate. Right? We talked about some flood stories. It's cracking me up thinking about it. But
buying toys with FEMA money. So.
Yeah. But I mean, we had a great time recording this one, and I'm pretty sure you guys are gonna have a great time listening to it.
If you like what you hear, as usual, subscribe, leave us a review or some comments. We want to hear your feedback, so go to iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, any of those websites that we host in here, I think SoundCloud or YouTube.
Let's start a discussion, you guys.
Yeah, all right. Well, enjoy the episode with
Caitlin Lydic. But no, this is definitely the Caitlin episode. We asked you to be on here because you work in a sex store. And that's just really interesting, you know? I mean, how many people in the world work in a sex store, right?
Exactly.
I don't know. But you're never going to say the name, right? Zach, we have to make sure that we don't say the name.
Oh, no name dropping?
No name dropping.
Yeah, we can't say the name. It's a corporate affair, you know what I mean? So.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I said I was going to start a blog, and my boss was like, just don't mention the name of the store at all. So
I didn't know it's just a big franchise.
We've got 24 locations.
I did not know that.
There's like 8 in Houston area.
Jeez.
Like, there's a lot there.
Yeah, whenever you drive through Houston, you'll see some billboards.
You heard about that big fiasco about the billboard off the interstate?
Wasn't like a raunchy one?
Well, it was a billboard and said, "Why fake it?" And had this girl with this O face.
Was that something that went like viral or something?
You know what? Actually,
people got upset about it.
Yeah, I remember seeing that billboard and thinking. See, the thing about that stuff that a lot of adults don't remember is, I mean, you guys remember seeing movies when you're a child, and then not remembering anything sexual in them at all, and you revisit them as an adult, and you're like, oh my god, how did they get away with this?
Yes.
That stuff just, if you have no knowledge of something, you don't pick up on it, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when a kid sees a billboard of a lady who just has like a strange expression you've never seen on her face, like a child doesn't understand that. It's not, they don't pick it up.
Innocent.
They tune it out because it has nothing to do with it.
You have the people that say like, I don't want to have to explain to my kids what that is or something like that. It's,
Exactly.
you know, like,
But the kids don't even ask. That's my point, you know? I mean, how many Disney movies have you watched where you're like, oh, wow, that was a sex joke in this Disney movie? I didn't even pick up on that.
Cartoon
Or
Network.
all the old Nickelodeon shows,
Yeah.
Ren and Stimpy. Like, that was deplorable.
You remember, like, Cow and Chicken? And
Yes.
You watch that now, you're like, what? This
Very
is wild.
strange show.
So strange. Well, anyway, thanks for being on our podcast.
You're welcome.
You are our first female guest.
It's very exciting to me.
I don't really know exactly what order we're going to put it out in, but everybody that's listening, this is our true first female guest. But I'm just going to start off. I'm going to say, was there any reason why you decided to work at a sex shop? Or was it just kind of a natural thing that you gravitated towards, or something you actually like went after and sought after?
Not really. When I put in my 2 weeks notice at my previous job, I went and put in applications.
What kind of job was that?
The Chaba Thai Bistro, the Thai restaurant.
So you were managing there, right?
Managing.
Yeah, you're managing it. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a high-stress environment.
It was high stress. I was looking for less stress.
Exactly.
Stress relief.
So I applied probably about at like 12 different places online and like 12 different places in location. I really wanted to do retail because I hadn't done retail before. I was in food my whole life. Started applying at head shops, like all the local ones in Beaumont, Sunrise, where my mom worked. I was like, I went and talked to Johnny. I was like, come on, put me on shift. It's like, I need a job. And he was like, oh, baby, I can't kick people out of here. Because everyone works there forever. And then I applied at Sally's Beauty Salon and just happened to stop at, and they were hiring. And I had never stepped foot in there before. In that location that I keep
that you keep saying that, yeah.
We'll just believe it.
Yeah, we'll
just
believe it.
Try not to say it again. But
definitely.
Anyway, so, I mean, what were your feelings like? You know, you were looking for kind of a retail spot, but like, what were you've been there for how long?
For almost 2 years now.
What were your feelings applying there? Were you just like kind of just looking for a job, or?
I was. It was almost a month without a job. So I was like, I really just need a job now. And really, it was an eye-opening experience to work there. Like, I wasn't a person who talked about sex. I wouldn't talk about sex to anyone, not even my closest best friend. Ask about a guy, I'm like, no, I can't. Oh, I don't say stuff like that. I'd get red-faced and blushed. And I feel like this job has, like, liberated me and opened me up to maybe pursuing a career like sex therapy or something. It's been fantastic.
It's been,
so you weren't really that, I guess, kinky of a person before this job?
Not really, no. I mean, there's always exploration, but before I started this, I didn't like to talk about sex. I mean, everyone watches porn. If they don't, they lie. So it wasn't what I expected. I thought it was going to be something, more lingerie shop, but it's definitely
that's kind of everything.
Sex toys.
To it than that, yeah.
It's got its ups and downs.
It's a lingerie shop, toy shop, DVD shop, right? I don't know. I haven't been in there in a little bit.
The DVDs still sell quite well, usually to like 40 years old and older.
Really?
People come to buy them. I guess they don't know about the internet porn.
I'll tell you a funny story of like one time I went inside the store you were. This was a long time ago. This was with a former girlfriend. And I go in there and we're just like goofing off, and I'm like super comfortable in these situations, so I kind of like play around. And I'm like watching everybody, and I'm people watching, because most guys that go in there with their significant other are like super uncomfortable, and they're like being drug around.
Exactly, they're looking for an out.
Yeah, kind of like they're like in a Victoria's Secret store, and they're just kind of like standing there, really
holding her purse.
So I'm like floating around looking at everything, and I go in that back room where all the DVDs are. And I notice this like super shady dude with like it's not like a trench coat, but it's one of those sort of like Columbine looking outer coats. I'm like, man, what is this guy doing? I call my girlfriend, we're like, hey, look at this guy. I'm like, what the hell is this guy doing? And I sit there and watch him, and I like notice the DVDs he's picking up. He's picking up like BBW DVDs, like Big Black Women DVDs, and he's just like all into it. And I'm watching him the whole time, and he has like sweat running down his face. Something's super going on with this guy. Like, he must have been raised Pentecostal or something. I don't know. Then all of a sudden I'm like, all right, cool. Let's go look at what we came here to look at. A minute later, that guy was like running out of the store, and the lady who was working there like ran after him. Was like, what's going on? And she was like, that guy just stole all of the gay porn in the entire store. Every single DVD that was gay porn, that guy stole. I was like, how much gay porn was in here? And she was like, there was 40 DVDs. I was like, what? I don't know. It was like
he was like the guy you see in like the New York movies where they pop it open and it has like all the pocket watches,
like a flasher
but
coat.
It's nothing but gay porn.
He was definitely wearing a flasher coat with all the gay porn. But anyway, that was.
Want to buy a DVD?
That was a funny story I had. I don't know. It's you got to deal with people stealing stuff all the time.
Definitely. People recently, I had this woman come in, try on 6 pieces of lingerie, and she was in there for maybe 45 minutes. I knock on the door, I check on her. She's like, oh, I'm just sending pictures of it to my husband, see which one he likes better. And I guarded that dressing room like a hawk. And I sat out in front when she opened the door, and she turned out the light before she got out, which is very strange. And she kind of giggled. She's like, I'll see you later. And I walked in there, and all of the sensors from the outfits were in the trash can, and none of the outfits were in the dressing room.
Dang, that's resourceful.
I still don't know how she got him out. I think she might have had like an ace bandage, like bind it close to her body. Because I was so close to her, I was looking right at her when she kept up. Exactly,
just
like she layered it all and then put her jeans and her long sleeve shirt back on and walked out. And she didn't look bulky at all. I still have no idea how she did it. I applaud her. That's a very nice heist.
That is a pretty good heist. Now, corporate's going to come down and they're going to be like, all right, we're going to need you to watch all these cam shows. And when some of this stuff shows up, you're going to have to tell us.
I don't think those kind of people are going to be on cam shows, really.
Oh, no, I'm just making jokes.
So it's like you have to see such a wide range of people come in, huh?
Definitely.
Like you might have your freaks come through, and you also have people. You probably still see, especially down south, you probably still see a lot of people who are very nervous because it's kind of like a repressed kind of thing, you know?
It's true.
Yeah.
Definitely taboo.
You have no idea how many Pentecostal people I get in there, though. It's amazing. Because, it's have lots of babies, have sex. Sex is good. And
reproduction.
they come in there and they buy all sorts of toys. I get billboard lawyers from the area in there. And, you get your occasional, like, hobo, meth-addled vagrant or something that comes in there with no pants on and looks at the DVDs and then asks to use your bathroom. Like,
yeah, it's not a great spot. Is it?
No, thank you.
With no pants on.
Mm-hmm.
You mean like in tidy whities coming in there?
Yes, like a long white shirt, like a little 6-year-old boy, long shirt, little briefs. Lots of homeless guys staring at the naked ladies on the boxes or the mannequins in the window.
Do any of them ever actually manipulate themselves, like in front of the windows or anything like that?
We had a guy lay down inside the store in front of the DVDs and masturbate.
Nice.
How do you deal with that?
What happens? Like,
Exactly.
The cops come or?
We didn't know what he was doing because the way he was acting, all of us kind of our flight response kicked in and we got really nervous and we just kind of like stayed away from him.
Yeah.
And we're just like, let him go. Don't cause any confrontations. And he's been in a few times like drunk and belligerent. And
it's an interesting thing because I mean not just the store you work in, but for a small period of time I worked at a sex shop in Dallas called Condom Sense, and it took me a lot to work there because I'm a male. My friend, one of my college friends, she worked there, and she convinced them that I was gay and that they could hire me, right? And they did it, and it was strange because I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, these people would come in all the time. Like, the craziest people come in.
Exactly.
Also, the most normal people would come in. There was people that were so normal you thought they were psychos. But I know at your store, like, I think it's policy just not to hire a man at all, like, no matter what, right?
we don't really have a no hire a man policy. It's just that every time a male has been hired, it does not work out. I guess females find him creepy or something of those sorts. I'm really not sure the reason why we don't have men. I would feel so much safer working with a man or having someone by the door or something during the situations whenever that guy masturbating in the toy room. That would have been very helpful to have a man there.
Maybe just have like a stalker.
Exactly.
Like a guy that's like stalking or doing something.
Sometimes I have regulars that come in, and I have this amazing guy that comes in. He's maybe like 6'4" and like 350. Like, he's a big dude, super friendly, super flirtatious. He's got a lovely wife, and like he'll stay in the store for like 2 hours. And he's like, "I'm sorry if I'm talking your ear off." I'm like, "No, I like you to be in
For
here.
sure, you feel safe.
I'm here by myself for 3 hours until another person gets here." So it's nice to have someone in there, especially like a Sunday day shift is when you get kind of like the floating hobos that are coming off of whatever they were on. And then the night shift is when you get like those lit ones that come in at like 15 minutes till close and destroy everything.
Oh, God.
I've been in there a couple times, and I've never seen anything like that. Besides the story I was talking about with the shifty guy who stole all the gay porn. But, you know, actually, that might be testament. I've only been there a couple times, and I saw that, so that might be testament to how often that happens, actually, now that I think about it.
Isn't it the only one in town, really?
It really is.
Yeah.
I thought there was another one over there.
There was one in another bad spot of town over by where Club Heat used to be.
Yeah, that's still there, right?
I think that's more of a lingerie.
That's more like a bachelorette novelty type thing, huh?
Like, I mean, y'all probably have that same kind of
stuff.
thing, but
I don't think it's the same. Y'all are more like sex based, right? Because even Sunrise has like a kind of a toy section.
They have their naughty
DVDs,
room, yes.
Yeah.
So did like what was it? Wildcats? It used to be
Crazy Cats.
Crazy Cats. Yeah, I remember that.
If you got a Crazy Cat tattoo, you would get 10% off
life.
of anything for life.
Wow.
And I feel so bad for those suckers walking around crazy tattoos. You guys suck.
Have you ever had to face any kind of like pushback against that store from like not like a religious thing? People who are like pissed that it's there, they think it's evil or sinful or something like that.
Besides that billboard.
Besides the billboard, not so much. We did not get any Native American Halloween costumes in because of the whole thing with that.
Yeah.
Right.
But that really has been pretty much it. Like, we don't really get any religious backlash, especially for being where we're next to that famous religious restaurant.
Well, that was very culturally sensitive of them to not to.
Oh yeah, I never really thought about that.
You know,
They host a drag car show in the parking lot like once a month.
really?
There's always like these people out there
I don't know that.
hanging out with their fancy cars in the parking lot. Drums up some business, you know.
It drums up some business for you
Bring
guys.
my wife back over here.
Hey, yeah.
Where you get like school bus loads of kids like being dropped off to Dairy Queen like from softball, and like they tried coming into the store. I'm like, oh no.
Wait a few years. Come on. So what do you think it is? You said that you weren't too open about your sexuality or like kinky or anything until you got there. What do you think it was that did that? Just being exposed to it?
Just being exposed to it. Yeah. When I started there, I didn't know anything about anything. And you kind of get like a walk around and just like have the general items explained to you. I spent my first 3 months working there doing research on all the products, on anal sex, on bondage, on desensitizing sprays. I don't use desensitizing sprays. I'm not a man with a penis. I don't use the male masturbators, but I read so much research, reviews over the products written by men, so I can give my best advice to the men that come in there, especially so many men that come in there who are so embarrassed to be there, to have to get a prostate toy.
Yeah.
I mean, some guys, they're all for it. They're like, oh yeah, I want to try this out. Some take convincing. Some are older men sent in there by their doctors to get a prostate toy because it's beneficial for your health. Milk that prostate.
It's also a cure for erectile dysfunction also.
Definitely.
But, yeah.
It's amazing.
Do you find that out of all of your customers that come in, do you find that like men are a lot more unreceptive at first than women are? Like when people walk through the door at first, you know, do you find that like women are like, oh cool, let's go look at this, let's go look at that? They're a lot more
Definitely
sexually open, but men seem to be stuck in a shell. Or
men tend to come during the daytime, so they know it's slow. They come in there by themselves. And they come in there quiet. You greet them. Can I help you with anything?
almost like they're guilty.
Oh no, I'm just looking. I'm like, I'm full of answers. If you have any questions, no questions are wrong question. And they start to say, you know, this is a little embarrassing, but I'm like, nothing is embarrassing. This is a sacred ground. I try to talk very professional and medical, basically, to people. I don't like to say the dirty lingo. I don't like clit. It's clitoris. You don't say butt sex. You say anal. There's subtleties that you can change to where you sound very respectful when you're talking to them about their problems.
Well, you're just being professional too, right?
Definitely.
Exactly. Yeah.
Have the knowledge to do so. It helps. This has really like widened my eye. My third eye is just enlightened. It's amazing.
It's kind of weird. There's also, so I feel like the entire culture is changing too. And when I say that, I kind of just mean sex culture in general, right? You work in a place that sells a lot of sex toys and DVDs and lingerie and stuff like that. I do feel like we're on the precipice mainly because of the internet. So a lot of people don't have to go into the store you work in to get anything. They can order whatever they want off of adamandeve.com, or they can order off amazon.com.
Definitely.
And they don't have to deal with a human interaction, and they can stay in their shell. Or they don't have to go in and buy the DVD. They can just get whatever they want. And I've really seen like almost like an explosion of like weird, I don't want to say weird, but like exotic new fetishes and stuff that have come up just because I think people are getting bored, and I don't know what it is.
It's true.
But
people are getting desensitized thanks to the
I think
internet.
so. Yeah. Have you seen these new toys that are alien-shaped phalluses
They lay eggs.
That
lay
deposits
eggs,
gelatin
that deposits
eggs inside
eggs.
of you.
What, do y'all sell that?
We do not sell that.
Probably on order.
That's
though,
like
special order.
That's made specifically by that website. I think they're called Primeval, or maybe it's Bad Dragon, or
what is that called? Do you know what that fetish is called now? I don't even know. I just
some classify it as like a sci-fi fetish.
Well, they have a word for it. It's something about the depositing of the eggs.
I read it in a Vice article, and they were talking.
There was a certain word for it
some
that's
kind
amazing.
of ovum fetish.
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
Man, I read that. I was like glued to my phone reading that.
I honestly think that ties into the whole cosplay element as well.
I think so too. Yeah, like
there's something. Yeah, there's definitely like.
Yeah, fuck me, E.T.
Yeah, like
ouch. Yes, ouch.
like the cartoon Tumblr artists, that are drawing like half zebra, half people, that type of stuff, like the Sonic,
Centaur,
the Sonic the Hedgehog stuff.
Well, it's like y'all. I mean, you say desensitized. I don't really. Desensitized might be the right word, but I don't like to say it's that because it sounds like it has like a negative connotation.
Yeah.
It's like it's not. I don't think it's that people being desensitized is pushing us toward where normal sex isn't attractive, but I think there's something to being free to do that and to experience those different kinds of weird experiences.
Exactly. I think that now that it's 2017, everyone's so accepting of everything, partially. For the most part. And people really feel like they can be themselves, especially in that kind of environment. They can ask for foxtails that are butt plugs and unicorn tails and bunny tails.
Cool. I like that a lot.
I like the bunny tail one. That one's my favorite. It's pretty cute.
Yeah, I agree with you, Zach. Like whenever you say desensitizing, like I think it's probably what should be said, but and it works in a certain way. But it also like applies sort of like a morality to it. If you're desensitized from something, if something is like completely consensual, or there's no morality involved, really, right? As long as you're not hurting anybody, there's no amoral. It's just it is what it is.
Well, there's
right?
People are scared of like the psychological effects, like. If you work this certain part of your brain too much, and it's going to weaken you in other places.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you can only get off to like having an egg implanted into you, like that probably would be kind of an issue. But there's
it's a gelatin egg. You could eat it afterwards,
right? And in some, oh my god, in some cases it probably is an issue. But I don't think it's necessarily like a replacement for other things. I just think it's like we're at a point in time to where we can put our finger on an experience that we want, and we can achieve that. And there's nothing wrong with being able to do that. It's just I've always tried to understand what's behind it. As long as it doesn't keep you from functioning as in society, maybe it's not that big a deal.
Yeah, like they have those dildos that are shaped like dog penises. I mean, that's better than being fucked by a dog.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm sure.
Fulfill that fetish that way.
Yeah, there's some strange ethical.
I've always wondered what it felt like.
Well, it's like it's not even like that. It's more pleasurable. I think with some people, it's more just how taboo or how kinky it is what they get off to.
That's true.
If that's a healthy way for them to get off to it, then that's something to encourage. It's not like they're going to start becoming dog breeders or anything anytime soon. Maybe you would hope not.
I would hope not.
But that's what I've always kind of seen about all those things is with the guy, we have like a lot of things that happen because of sexual repression. Like the Pulse nightclub shooting. That guy,
yes.
they looked at all his posts and his texts and everything like that, and like he was super repressed, dude.
Well, he had a Grindr account, didn't he?
Yeah, he had that, and they had like tag,
Right.
and that's basically kind of the outcome. Is like his religion was super repressive of what he thought he could be, and he hated himself for being that way. And he went and killed a bunch of people.
And the thing is, so he viewed that part of himself as evil. Mm-hmm. So in order to purge himself of it, he would rail against it as sort of a thing or like an institution. So it was like, God, I got to get rid of this gayness inside of me.
Right.
Let me go shoot a fucking bunch of gay people.
Yeah.
And that's
an extreme outlier, but I feel like if we were more accepting of sexual things and
I mean, it might not be.
And had more outlets like what you get at a sex shop, then that would probably be a lot less likely.
It might not be such an outlier. Really, if you think about it, like repression is very bad. I'm not going to jump the gun and say there's a causation, but there's definitely a correlation right here. Like, so And I'm not trying to hate on this state at all, but let's take Alabama, right? Alabama has one of the highest ratios of like black to white people. It's in the South. Race relations can be like better than most places because there's such a long history of black and white people living, but it also can be worse because of the history. And if you look at like the Pornhub statistics, the most watched category of porn in Alabama is ebony, right? Mm-hmm. So you have a lot of like old white guys watching ebony porn, but where does like the majority of racially charged violent crimes happen? In the South, you know? So yeah, the Orlando nightclub shooter was an outlier, but maybe he wasn't. Maybe he was just the most extreme version of that.
People always talk about toxic masculinity in regards to men's power over women, but that has also fucked up most guys. That's why you have guys that come in and are nervous and don't, aren't comfortable coming in and talking about those things because they feel like if I touch my butt, then I'm gay or something like that.
Exactly.
And that's a social
Or I
construct,
have women that come in to buy a vibrator and then they see men's toys and like, oh, that's gross. How on earth is that gross if you're doing the same exact thing? That's
the flip side is you're endangered as a guy. You're endangered of being considered a pervert.
Exactly.
Just because you have different sexual needs, and that's another social thing.
You want to have your prostate stimulated or be pegged. You're all of a sudden gay.
Isn't that weird that men have to worry about being considered perverts and women have to worry about being considered prudes? How opposite is that? Exactly.
I was called a prude my whole life.
Yeah?
I was a prude. Supposedly, because I didn't talk about sex. So that made me a prude. Just because I don't talk about what goes behind closed doors doesn't mean there's amazing stuff that goes on back there.
You were just reserved, that's all.
Reserved, yes. I'm still reserved. I just feel more freely to talk about it, more comfortable.
That's such a dangerous insult to ever call a woman a prude. Basically, what you're saying is that you can't. So if I was to call someone I had a relationship with, if I were to call them a prude, all that would mean is that I don't know how to effectively communicate what I want from them to them. So it's just like it's a backhanded insult to myself. Like there's no such thing as a prude.
There's no such thing as a prude. Everyone has their own kink. Very true. You can't stereotype anyone that comes in the store because the people that you see that have, tattoos and piercings and look like they've lived 60 years and 20, they've never had a sex toy. And then you see the 82-year-old man that comes in there and shows up to you and shows you his ID and buys vibrators for his girlfriend. You can't stereotype anyone there. It's really amazing, especially when people buy their porn. That's my favorite.
Seeing the types of porn
Can you guess
somebody's porn by how they look like now?
You can try.
So you're saying there's really no rhyme or reason with demographics or genders or anything with these porns. You can never tell. Right?
Exactly. I had this guy, maybe young 30s, looking for more trans porn. And Hispanic too, which I was like, nope, didn't expect him to be into trans porn at all. But you can't really peg them, or can you?
Only if they say if they consent.
Exactly. If they
So do you think it's being exposed to the world, or do you think it's seeing? Do you think you've become more comfortable with it because you've seen that everybody has their own little kinks? You've seen that it's a pretty normal thing because you've probably seen the gamut of demographics socially. Come in there and
yes.
Get whatever, it's probably made it everybody does this, everybody has this.
It's true. I mean, I help little lesbians pick out their first strap-on for the first time. There's the trailer park couple that comes in there and tells you that bottle of paint you recommended last time tasted real good but stained their lips. And then you have that couple that comes in and looks for you.
Because you made them feel
you made them feel so comfortable. Yeah. They say, "What is your name? I'm going to remember you next time," and that makes you feel good. They always ask what it's like working there, and I say it's got its ups and downs because you've got the crazy, grody.
You got the hobo masturbating on the floor.
People masturbating on the floor and getting hit on, or then you have really sweet customers that are genuinely thirsty for the knowledge that you're providing them.
Do Do you get hit on a lot? Is that a thing?
Oh my gosh, I wear a ring to work so I look like I'm married because when you say you're married, it tends to stop some of them.
Some, yeah, a percentage.
I also stopped saying 3 years. I say 15 years. Like, how long have you been together? I was like, 3 years? And this guy was like, well, that's not long. You can give me your phone number. He stood there for 20 minutes trying to get me to give my phone number to him.
While you're wearing a ring, while you say you're married.
Finally, I told him that this is before I decided on the ring thing. I didn't have a ring on. He was like, well, you're not married. How long have we been together? I was like, 3 years. He's like, that ain't long. You can give me a phone number. You just talk. We could be friends. And then I told him me and my boyfriend shared a phone. So that kind of stopped him in his tracks. But he was being so harassing that I wanted to call the cops.
Well, maybe you should have.
And it happens often, like helping like men pick out lingerie for their wives and like, oh, you're so sexy. I'm like, thanks. Here's your wife's lingerie. It can be awkward sometimes. But then you just, learn. I had this... People like to call to try to, like, get their rocks off to, like, your voice and you sing erection or it'll make you hard or girth or something like that. So this guy asked me to explain the we vibe to him. And I do it the way I do it. There's a flat part that could be inserted into the vaginal canal that could be left in during penetration, and the larger part sits on top of the clitoris for stimulation. And he hung up on me because that was so boring to him.
Because you explained it in a very clinical way.
Exactly. I was very clinical, and he wasn't expecting that. So I've finally learned what to do. I also just tell him I'm calling the cops, and they usually hang up because I think they can trace the call. I don't know. People are dumb.
Yeah. That's such a problem. I feel like a lot of these issues just stem from just repression, like Zach was saying earlier. It really does. Like, why would you ever call up the phone at the store and try to get your rocks off like that?
Yeah, I'm not a phone operator. I don't get paid $12 an hour to talk dirty to you. I
don't know.
I have a guy that comes in 3 to 5 times a week, buys 1 to 5 DVDs at a time. I bet his collection is impressive. And he finally said the reason why he buys so much porn is because he's just bored. And then one time he told me, he was like, yeah, I paint a little bit. Show me one of his paintings. Beautiful, like lake, sunset, cabin painting, orange, red leaves, detailed, amazing. I was like, maybe spend more time painting.
Yeah. I mean, or maybe he saves a lot of time not worrying about the opposite sex.
Exactly.
Maybe getting into porn helps
watches his amazing collection of DVDs and
maybe he has more time
and paints
to paint.
You never know. He doesn't know about the internet either, though, so I don't think he could work it. He's one of those older guys that's not caught up on technology.
Well, I'll tell you what. Now that net neutrality is coming to an end, and we're on a horizon of a much more controlled internet, he's probably going to be ahead of the game.
Yeah, he's going to have all his DVDs.
He's going to be ahead of the game. We're all going to be just like bamboozled, and he's going to be like just sitting on a gold mine, like he's going to be in a vault. He'll probably start charging admission, like, oh, he's going to be a library.
Yeah.
You checking out? That's going to be it.
Open up another Blockbuster.
Because I'm not going to pay like $40 a month.
The looky look.
For like Pornhub. Not doing it. Not going to do it.
Ridiculous.
What's like the busiest time of year for y'all? Is it just Valentine's Day?
Valentine's Day.
There's got to be like peak hours of everything.
Actually, ever since the hurricane, we've been like super busy.
Really?
People are replacing everything they lost in the flood. So
people must have lost a lot
in the flood. I hear that all the time. Like, well, I'm in here to buy a new vibrator because mine got lost in the flood. So
oh god.
I guess I hear that all the time. I get a discount for being a flood victim.
Are you buying this with FEMA money?
Yes, they are. That's why everyone got their FEMA money, and we had one of the busiest weeks of the year.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna tell you something, darling. Can you show me to your glass section? Because I done lost everything I had, and I'm switching over to glass.
That's a smart idea. Glass is super easy to clean.
Yeah, it ain't gonna float away. It's super easy to clean.
Just stick down there.
It's not sophisticated. It's not like Japanese or German engines inside of it doing all kinds of...
You think about how expensive these toys are, though. We're talking, $190, $349 toy that they might have had 5 of in a box and lost them all.
Jeez.
When do you
Keep them in the sock drawer.
When do you think you guys are going to start selling, like, sexual robotic things?
I don't know. It freaks me out. I wouldn't...
But you've seen it, right? Like
I have seen it. That's a computer. That could be hacked.
It definitely can be hacked. It is really scary.
And, I mean, you've seen iRobot.
Mm-hmm.
Like... What do robots do?
I heard somebody talking about one of the things that they're probably going to end up doing is like you have a blank doll that has everything on it, and then you wear some goggles or something, and you can project whoever you want onto it.
Oh, an augmented reality?
This is like that Futurama
Episode where they can have
we're gonna
his
have those
Lucy
problems.
Lubot.
Yeah, we're going to have those problems of people having their identities stolen for toys.
Yeah, no, actually, we're right on the precipice of that right now. I don't know if you saw, I read an article the other day about this, where they don't know who exactly did it, but some software engineer had a really sophisticated face swap algorithm. They took a scene, just a regular scene, with somebody who looked like Gal Gadot's body, and they face swapped Gal Gadot's face on it, right? And they they call it Wonder Woman porn and all that. And it was very sophisticated. Only a few times that you would see it would you see the chink in the armor, but the rest of the time it was so sophisticated. It was literally Gal Gadot's face on this, Chatsworth, California production, and it was really scary seeing that, because you're like, oh, if they can do that to this person, they could literally do that to anyone. Anybody. We're not far off. We're not far off from a future where you can just have a baseline sort of video that somebody produced, and then you can bring them, let's say 10 pictures of your ex-girlfriend or your ex-boyfriend.
I think I'm less worried about that happening than how the laws are going to respond to it.
Perhaps, yeah.
That's more scary to me, is how they're going to try to repress those kind of things.
I don't think you could make a law about doing that as an individual, but you could make a law about distributing it. You couldn't distribute Gal Gadot porn or Scarlett Johansson. You know what I mean? You couldn't do that. You would get sued. But if it was an individual level, you had $2,000 and you're like, hey, I want to see a scene with my dead fiance. You could definitely do that. I don't think there would be any, but I'm not a lawyer. I wouldn't know. But it is very scary. The implications on that are ridiculous. And like you were saying, augmented reality is real. You can put on glasses and it would just cover a facsimile. Yeah, they already have that. They already have VR pornography where the tilt and the pan and the angle of your glasses match the camera angle inside, and you can just watch whatever happens.
I want to see VR porn pretty bad. I just want to check that out.
Well, it's based on both genders, so you can watch VR porn from either perspective.
Oh, from either POV.
Yeah, from either POV. It's actually you could watch it from you could be a girl just getting railed, and you look down and you look up.
You can learn the experience.
You can look.
Too bad they can't give you the sensation.
You can literally look behind you and see the crew. You know what I mean? You can look behind you and see the crew.
See the fluffer on standby.
Yeah, they have 360s. It's pretty wild. It's just like any other VR technology that you see, but yeah, it's just in a video with a 360 technology.
Oh, that 360 stuff is really strange to me.
It's kind of a double-edged sword, though, with the modernization of sexual technologies and things, where we have anything. I mean, Rule 34 or whatever it is. Anything you want to see is on the internet, right? Mm-hmm. And that's definitely a good thing. Don't get me wrong. I definitely think it's positive. As far as pornography goes and everything else, I actually think it's positive, because it gives you an outlet and a release that you might not get elsewhere. It also shows you that everybody in the world is some form of normal. It normalizes these things, which is really important. Like you were talking about, how you're really shy. You didn't, you didn't really know that anything you might have felt internally was normal. Yeah. So I think that it's very, very, very powerful for that. But I also think on the other side, because everything is a double-edged sword, but it also kind of might keep us from having real-world experiences, or actually just taking risks or chances. I don't know.
But with the technology being the way it is, there's vibrators with apps that sync up to your phone and the vibrator, so you can make the vibrator do all these different things from across the world or from the next room.
While you're playing Candy Crush.
It's gross. You can do it both at the same time. There's a lot of toys that have a sync app now, to where you can sync it up and create your own vibration patterns. But
at the end of the day, it's all just very insular, right? That's just you being with yourself. And I'm not saying that's bad or good. I'm not making a case for that. But
I'm sure FaceTime.
But there might be, there might be something for including someone else. Maybe these things are making us more solitary in nature, right? Mm-hmm. When you can access something that is very personal to you, and you feel maybe like a slight shame for, there's going to be less of a chance that you would ever share that part of yourself with somebody else, right?
Yeah.
That's true.
So, I mean, it is good because it will normalize the way you feel, and it will probably make you less likely to shoot up a gay club in Orlando.
That's why I said I really feel like wanting to be like a sex therapist now. You have people that come in there and they're so shy to tell you what they want, and they're like, this is embarrassing, I've never done this before. And you take them to the side and you talk quietly to them so no one else can hear. And by the end, they're setting up an account to get free stuff. And they're all for it. They're like, this isn't what I was expecting at all. People expect to be sweaty and dark and leather. And, it smells refreshing in there. And it's bright and charming. And
you kind of demystify and de-taboo this sort of stuff.
There's, the
right.
stigma still exists in sex shops. Like, people think sex shop and they think of like BDSM gimp suits off to the side and like some dude with like
a leather daddy,
like long stringy hair come up to you, can I help you, little lady? No one wants to be creeped out when they're shopping. Like we actually had to do a bust on this kid that kept coming in. We found out he was 19 when the cops finally showed up. There's a guy coming in, and he'd come in maybe 2 or 3 times a day, and we realized he was looking for pretty women. And he would talk to them and be like, oh, what do you think of these thigh highs I want to get for my girlfriend? Innocent stuff. And then he would proposition them for a blowjob.
Are you serious?
Or ask them for sex later or something.
Oh, my God.
And so he came in, and I saw him, and I called the cops. I was like, oh, he's leaving. He might be gone. And he came in again. It was my job to keep him there till the cops got there. So I had to follow this guy around the store and try to keep him in the store. And while he's like, what is this? I'm like, oh, that's anal lube. He's like, oh, you ever used that before? I'm like, no. He's like, you want to try it out later with me tonight? And it's alarming when a stranger you've never met says that to you. It makes you feel very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And a pretty girl was walking out of the store, and he was like, oh, I don't have my money on me, so I'll be back. Driving a BMW, which...
Like trying to follow this person?
He was following her, yeah. He followed her outside and started talking to her. And just then is when the cops showed up. And one SUV got behind him, and the other 2 SUVs pulled on each side of this guy's cars to lock him in. And the cop came in and asked me if I wanted to press a Class C assault charge against him, because what he said to me is assault. So you get people like that.
That's terrible.
Where my coworker got flashed by an elderly woman with low hangers.
This was a woman.
Exactly, but it's
still not.
That goes into the consent of the thing. I see titties at work all the time.
It's far less threatening. It is, definitely.
That's a woman saying, can I get your opinion on this lingerie? Could you help me into this corset? I'm not shy. Do you mind? No, I don't mind. I don't like to look at everyone's titties. They're like snowflakes. Some are pretty, some aren't. The pretty ones I tend to stare at, and I know that's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And the ugly ones I tend to look away from. So I just try not to look so I don't make anyone feel bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, this couple, older 50s, walked in, and this woman, you can see her in the pictures, clutching her jacket. And they're looking for a see-through shirt. And what my coworker is showing them isn't good enough for them, so... He just finally says, like this, and rips that woman's jacket open, and she's got these low hangers down to her belly button, and then just, like, winks at my coworker. And poor thing, she's, like, just turned 22. She's a sweet little young angel. Was not expecting that at all. Very fun there. I was like, man, I missed it. I worked earlier that day. Where were they? Ups and downs, like I said.
Yeah.
It's a good story.
You want to take a break?
All right, let's take a break.
Let's take a break, because I think I need to go to the store.
All right.
This podcast is brought to you by Cheap Wine.
Cheap wine.
It's true.
I walked to the 7-Eleven and got a super cheap bottle of wine.
Oh, that's terrible.
It's so bad. It doesn't even have a cork. It has a screw top.
At least they don't keep their wine in the window anymore.
But I like to try. I don't like.
No, I mean that I like that kind of wine, but not that brand.
For sure. No, this is terrible, man. This is seriously 7-Eleven wine. I don't know, whatever. I'm still
gonna
drink
it. That's like 7-Eleven brand.
No, but it was.
Oh no, but from 7-Eleven.
It was from
I
7-Eleven.
know that wine. It's really, really cheap.
Yeah, it was $4.99.
When the wine rep used to come to Chaba, that was on the list, and that wine was like $2 a bottle wholesale.
Wholesale, yeah.
So,
Well, retail it's $4.99. Just so you know, it's called Yosemite Road, and I'm drinking the Cabernet Cab Sav.
girl,
You know?
I drink me some Arbor Mist. That's $4.99
It's,
at the
oh,
K1.
God.
It's ripe blackberry,
least it's not in the
lingering
bag.
medium body, and a smooth finish.
Delicious.
Delicious.
No, the finish is not smooth.
Josh got the Menage, Menage a Trois, that 3 red wine blend.
Do you mean
Oh,
the
yeah.
the cupcake? The Menage,
It wasn't Cupcake. It was some other brand, but it was like a Menage a Trois
Menage
3
Trois.
wine blend. And he got it thinking it was going to be sweet. He doesn't know much about wine. He was like, oof, oh, it's dry. And I was like, yeah, it's dry. It's going to be dry. It
Dry's the best, though.
it was good. I liked it, but I'm not a big red wine drinker, but I've had so much red wine because people know I like wine that they just like pile on top of me.
I have to admit the last your last birthday that you had that I brought you a bottle of wine. I picked that out because of the label. I have to admit that.
That's what everyone does. They go by labels.
I know, and I try not to, but it was a I think it was either a Shiraz or like a Cab Sav. I can't remember. I think it was a Cab Sav. But the label was just too cool. I knew it was like a type you already liked, and then I picked it out because I felt like it fit you.
I say the same thing about vibrators. People buy the packaging they're attracted to.
Really?
Yeah.
Packaging is just attractive everywhere. I would imagine in that field it would be that's the most draw, right? Mm-hmm. Like making it seem like digestible to the average person, right? Is that
Yeah,
how it
some of them
works?
come in like beautiful gift boxes, beautiful colors. Like we have this, I don't know the name of the line, but each like vibrator, they have all different kinds. They have like gold chains with like medallions on them, and they have like filigree and
Yeah. Well, they don't want to buy an
little
appliance.
fleur-de-lis
That's-
designs on them. Like
that's
they are
opulence.
insanely
I'm classy.
beautiful. It's opulence indeed
Yeah.
at its highest. There's actually a London company, Love Honey, best company, amazing. They make luxury toys. So their toys are made of 100% medical grade silicone, and they're rich mahogany colored or black cherry or something like that. And they sell
Treat
the
yourself.
18 karat gold pleasure seed for $14,000.
What is that?
It's it's kind of about 4 inches wide and maybe like 3 inches
4 inches
long, and
wide.
it's got this
Wait,
little
you
prong
mean-
on
you
the
mean-
end.
You mean 4 inches in circumference?
No, diameter.
Oh Jesus!
But it's meant for like clitoral stimulation
I was like,
or
wow.
Yeah.
body massaging or
Jeez.
nipple stimulation or something like that. It's a multi-purpose. They also make some of the heaviest Kegel balls I've ever felt. I congratulate any woman that can keep that one in.
That's amazing.
It is. You see that woman on the YouTube that like hangs all those
Yeah,
different
the ones
objects?
that she hangs the weights. She hangs
feels
her surfboard and all that stuff.
You
Yeah.
have no idea how much strength that takes.
I have to tell you, as a man, that's very intimidating to me. Like it really is.
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
that.
And I'm a man that's not easily intimidated, like at all. But
well, I
that's
mean, we
very
have
intimidating.
like the Jackrabbit brand with the spinning beads in it,
yeah.
or they have ones that thrust. I got one for free, and like my Kegels were too tight and it broke. It couldn't thrust on its own. So like the representatives from the companies will come in and talk to us. They're like, "Oh, this is our new thrusting one," and I'll squeeze it. They're like, "Oh, if you can make it stop, you shouldn't be able to." I'm like, "Well, I can. So make your stuff stronger."
With your hand?
Yeah, like I'll
yeah.
squeeze it, and if I can make it stop with the slightest bit of pressure, I know that it's not going to work
Not
inside.
to work.
Wait a minute. Are you trying to tell me that people's
Women's
Kegel
Kegels muscles are
stronger
strong
than their
enough to.
hands?
I mean, like if you squeeze a Coke can and slightly dent it, is the pressure I'm talking about that you need
Oh,
to
she just knows
stop.
the pressure to judge by. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, what?
And like I'll squeeze it hard. I'll try to see where I can stop at how much pressure I need. And they're like, "Well, if it takes that much pressure, I'm surprised." I'm like, "Well, you are surprised. Kegels are strong."
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes.
We have a company that makes the gears from metal instead of plastic, so that keeps them from stopping. It's a really good company.
Holy shit.
Evolved. They make great toys.
Evolve.
Oh, 5-year warranty. No matter what happens to it, your dog could eat it.
What's
Then
some
replace it.
what's some of the stuff you would recommend for whoever is actually still listening right now? Like, it doesn't have to be a company. It could be like maybe like you notice a trend in stuff made from a certain country, or a brand or whatever? Do you have like any sort of cautionary tales, like stay away from this?
Well, yeah, with the 50 Shades of Grey movie coming out, they have the dining scene where she has Kegel balls in, and she is like orgasming at the table, and like it's the best sensation ever. So people are coming in and buying Kegel balls with no knowledge behind them, and like, you know, that originated with like Benoit balls or a Yanni egg, which is an egg shaped, made out of like jade or crystal or something that's got a hole in it that you put a string through, and it gets inserted vaginally, and you train your vaginal canal. You can concentrate on moving the weight down, concentrate on moving it up, play with a string. And so that's where it kind of originated from. And then when they come in thinking that they're getting the same 50 Shades Grey experience, you have to tell them that, no, these are not going to make you orgasm. It's a vaginal exercise. There's two kinds. There are Kegel balls that are larger and connected and have a string on the end of them, so you can retrieve them. And then there's just smaller ones that are weighted, heavier, and they're loose. Those ones are good if you've been using them for a while. You want to start off with the bigger ones. You want to be able to have a string to pull it out until you're strong enough, or till a woman's strong enough to push them out by herself, and then they move on to smaller ones. But women were coming in there and buying the small ones, and you know, there were stories after the movie came out of women like having to go to the hospital to get Kegel balls removed. God. And so I had to sit there and give a 20-minute explanation 7 times a day to couples coming in looking for Kegel balls.
Yeah, you have to give
because
like a
of a movie.
Right,
Sex doesn't work like it does in movies. And, you know, the body wands are very popular, but people see them in pornos as like an aid for squirting, or just like, that's what the girl likes in pornos, that's what I want for my wife. And that's a super strong vibration machine.
Very strong.
It's called a body wand for a reason. It's not made for clitoris
it's
stimulation.
Made for massaging your shoulders.
It's made for massaging shoulders.
Or your quads, or like, your lower back.
You know, and the myth isn't necessarily a myth that too much stimulation kills nerves. Now, if a woman was to use a body wand every single day, she would have less feeling. But if she stopped using it, it would come back.
Right.
But well, like, they come in and people are like, I need something more powerful. I need something more powerful. I'm like, lay off your vibrator for a week.
Yeah.
You don't need something more powerful. You just need to give your clitoris a rest. That poor little guy's going into overdrive.
Yeah.
Well, that's a really important thing, too, is that people need to realize that pornography is not reality. It's not. And
that's what they want.
It's a production. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter what you're watching. It's not reality. They don't know what
goes on behind the scenes.
The thing is,
12 people behind the camera.
Even if you're watching amateur cam shows, that's still not reality. That's a production. They literally, even if they put just like the slightest bit of thought into it,
they still storyboarded
they still
it.
Like they still had like, they were like, all right, cool, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this. Even if they didn't, it's still there that you want to elaborate on it, right? It's just not real. Anytime you're watching something, you're only watching what somebody allows you to watch. It's not reality. And people really need to realize that. Like, especially men, but people do need to realize that like pornography is not reality. So don't like watch something, don't watch porn, and then like expect your girlfriend or your wife is going to be able to do the same exact things. And conversely too, like don't expect that like, you know, your significant other, your boyfriend, husband, or something is going to do the same exact things either.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a strange thing.
People come in and they want the vibrators from the porn. They want the pocket pussies molded after the porn stars. There's a company that makes this item that holds the pocket pussy and your tablet so you can watch POV porn with it. Like, it's ingenious to me. There's also a shower mount for it so you can use it in your shower.
Yeah.
Very creative.
Is it a waterproof housing?
Water,
or just a stand?
I'll tell you right now, water's not conducive to sex in any form.
No way. Actually, there's this new brand called Sex in the Shower. Call out to them. They're amazing. They have suction footrests and handrails that you can suction cup into your shower. There's
they can hold weight.
They have edible lubricant for the shower that is really, really thick, and it's water based, but it's still water resistant, so it lasts a while. They have like edible body gels, like also that work as soap that is edible. Very cool. Like vibrating loofahs and full rubber paddles that aren't going to mold in your shower. Like, they really thought this out. It's pretty smart. But shower sex is awful. It dries everything out. The positions are terrible. It's 80% of household accidents happen in the bathroom, and half of those are sex related. So
we have millions of years of biology, like going into sex, where we lubricate ourselves, and then you want to get in a shower and wash that all away.
Just spit on it.
That's completely counterproductive. It's so counterproductive. Showers are awful for having sex in. Just in my personal experience.
They actually have, I don't know if you've heard of the Nuru massage. Nuru, you take a shower with your partner, get your skin nice and moist and damp, and then you take the Nuru massage oil and you mix it with water and it turns into this like gel substance. And then you rub it on each other's bodies and put down the sheet that it comes with that's plastic or a painter's tarp. And it's like an adult slip and slide. And you Nuru massage each other's body with a super slick massage oil, and you can slide against each other, and very amazing. I saw the DVD. It looks very erotic.
Sounds like fun.
My bed's way too high off the ground, and I feel like I would break something. You know me, I'm clumsy.
Put it on the ground. Put it on the carpet.
Yeah, just
You are clumsy.
move my coffee table out of the way, and don't come in here.
You gotta put the dog somewhere else too.
Yeah. Dog hair stuck all over to me from that Nuru massage gel.
I could definitely never use it.
I can see it happen now. And then, like, my dog likes to lick lotion and coconut oil off of me, so, like, definitely get the dogs out of there and they're, like, licking your ass while you're using it.
Well, I think that brings it all together. Want to end on that?
Sure, yeah. We'll end on that. That's a good place to end. Why not? Caitlin, we're really glad that you came on and you agreed to do this.
First
Me
lady
too.
guest.
It was super
First female
excellent.
guest.
Awesome. Thanks for coming.
I'm glad to pop your cherry.
Yeah.
Did you have fun?
I had a great time.
We had a lot of fun. For sure. This has been brought to you by Cheap Wine. Obviously. Caitlin, it's good to have you. We'll see everybody next time.